The Grant Professionals Association Grantmaker of the Year Award is a competitive international program that recognizes visionary contributions made by grant-making organizations that have positively impacted their communities and the field of grantsmanship. There are two categories for awards, public and private. The public category includes grantmakers affiliated with federal, state, and local governments. The private category includes family and corporate foundations. The awards process includes a review of nominations, scoring of nominations, and interviews with the finalists. The recipient of the GPA Grantmaker of the Year Award in the public category is the Maine Women's Fund. The Maine Women's Fund was nominated by Sarah Strickland of Strategic Wisdom Partners. For more than 30 years, the Maine Women's Fund has provided not only financial support, but also capacity building resources, leadership development, and networking opportunities for Maine organizations serving women and girls. We are proud to celebrate the Maine Women's Fund as the 2020 Grant Professionals Association Grantmaker of the Year in the public category. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Creighton, and I'm the Executive Director of Maine Women's Fund. On behalf of the Maine Women's Fund, I want to accept this incredible award from the Grant Professional Association. It's the Grantmaker of the Year Award in recognition of our contributions to the community and the grants profession within the public sector. It is such an incredible honor to accept this award, especially at a time when women are being so incredibly impacted by all that's happening within the context of the pandemic. If you don't already know, women and girls only receive 1.6% of all foundation funding. Women and girls of color receive only half of 1% of all giving by all foundations. So this award is really meaningful, especially at a time when women, especially women of color, have been so disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. I'd like to just share a little bit about our mission. There are women's funds in communities all over the globe. So we are very lucky to be one of a whole bunch of sister organizations that like to work together and learn from one another. So I'm very grateful for all their support and encouragement and sharing that they do. That's a big part of our success. The Maine Women's Fund was founded in 1989, and we have made close to 500 grants totaling more than $2.6 million to more than 230 unique organizations in Maine and Wabanaki tribal communities. Our mission is to make bold investments that transform the lives of Maine women and girls. How we do that is really important. We partner with our grantees to build capacity, achieve sustainability, and develop the next generation of women leaders. We invest, we incubate, and invest in nonprofit organizations run by and for Maine women and girls. We connect, we provide many opportunities for our donors, our grantees, and other organizations and leaders to convene, to learn, and to collaborate. I'm really proud to say that this year, because of our advocacy on behalf of the needs of women and girls, we've been able to raise and grant more than $250,000. And that is double what we have given in past years. And there's still so much more to do because of the impact the pandemic is having on our priority populations. I'm just going to take a minute to highlight our newest grants program that we created because of the pandemic. We are working very closely here in Maine with lots and lots of funders. And as people were putting out their emergency funding grants, we were watching those really carefully to see if there was any gaps that were particular to the needs of women and girls. We saw that there were some, and so we started our first ever emergency pooled funding fund, and we're able to give over $53,000 to organizations that were really helping to advance women's personal safety during this time. We saw that violence was surging globally, and we reached out to the Coalition to End Domestic Violence and the Wabanaki Women's Coalition to ask them to partner with us in getting emergency funding to service organizations and communities supporting survivors all over the state and Wabanaki communities. If you don't know what's happening in your community, I would encourage you to reach out to your domestic violence providers. In Maine, our hotline calls are up 83%. We also knew that direct care workers, some of the hardest working and lowest paid workers in the state of Maine, didn't have access to PPE or COVID testing back in March, and they needed an advocate. And we partnered with the Maine Council on Aging to advocate on their behalf, and they are still doing that work, and we are so grateful for that. So already we've given over $53,000, and the gifts are continuing to come in for this new emergency fund that we created, and we're really proud of the impact that that's been having. We also are really proud of the work that we're doing, despite being the whitest state in the nation, to really center the needs of women and girls of color. And here in Maine, we're thrilled to be granting more than $250,000 this year, and over a third of it will be specifically granted to organizations led by and for women and girls of color in Maine and Wabanaki communities, which is really important, we think, given what is happening around the need not only to address gender equity issues, but to address racism and racial equity issues. So we're really proud of that work, and we know it was one of the reasons why we were nominated for this award, and we're really grateful to accept it. So thank you. I hope everyone that's watching at home is staying safe and helping to support women and girls in their community who are being disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to the Maine Women's Fund and the New England Grassroots Environmental Fund as this year's recipients of the GPA Grantmaker of the Year Awards. The GPA Grantmaker of the Year Award is a fantastic way to recognize a grantmaker who is positively impacting their communities in the field of grantsmanship. Nominations for the 2021 award will open in the spring of 2021. Learn more about the award and its history on our website.